A great way to break the ice is just a comment about their last article that they wrote. Hey, I loved your article that you wrote last week. It's super relevant for me. Here's why.
I'm so on board with you there because I
Hmm.
let my speakers know all the time. You want to be Googleable. Like, you don't want to be hidden. So when I Google your name, I want to see you everywhere. And that's a big reason why I advocate podcasts, especially top 5 percenters, right? And media and PR, because just on your own social network, or, the engagements that you do here and there, a lot of times those engagements don't get a spot on Google search or a search engine, whereas PR and media always do, right? You're always going to come up
Yeah.
in a search string. So that was a really, really excellent point. What is a way to approach, I guess what I'm asking is, what's a wrong way to approach, let's say, a media expert who is a reporter, those kinds of things, with regards to, let's say I'm a thought leader. My topic is in getting your voice out there, making an impact through your voice. And I reach out to somebody who's clearly their whole mission and message is about child raising. What's a waste of time? What's a good use of time? And what closes doors versus open doors?
Well, you want to make sure that it's relevant to what the journalist is covering. That's the basics. So I wouldn't pitch something about public speaking to someone who writes about technology, right? And you need to. That's what I mean by you need to do the work to make sure that the person you're pitching to has a history of writing about that. A great way to break the ice is just a comment about their last article that they wrote. Hey, I loved your article that you wrote last week. It's super relevant for me. Here's why. You can send them a message on LinkedIn. You can send them a message on Twitter. Now with social media, there's so many free ways to connect with journalists that it really is possible. And journalists want to hear from you. They do not want to lose journalism integrity. And the way that they can stay integrous is by interviewing people from all walks of life, constantly featuring fresh voices so that they're not the spokespeople of Fortune 500 companies. So they want to hear from you. They need to hear from you. And, it's about time that you step into that power and really believe that and throw your name in the hat, because why not you? I always say to my PR students, why not you?
Why not you? I love that. And do your homework, right? Which
Hmm.
leads to the relevance. So that whole relevance piece that you talked about, lead with relevance. You're leading with relevance of why you're relevant to them, but also in leading with, hey, I read your recent article on ABC, and this is why I feel like I would be relevant for your show. So, any other tips or tricks with regards to researching them and getting kind of the insider insights onto who they are, and what maybe the pattern is on what they're looking for? Let's say they talked on a topic right now. Do they normally continue on a theme throughout the year? How do you kind of discern what would be relevant for a given?
So I really like to think of relevance in a couple ways. One of them is seasonal relevance. So that's like winter, summer, and then there's also policy relevance, right? Is there something in your industry that's a new policy or a new regulation? And that's always going to be relevant, whether it's on the state or federal level. Are there any new findings and research reports? You can piggyback on that. Another way you can find your relevance is, what are the big Fortune 500 companies doing? Can we piggyback on a bigger news article, but just offer a different viewpoint? So those are all the ways that you can become relevant. You can bring in third party data. We had someone who is a speaking coach for introverts, and she got featured by literally saying in her email, according to this research, introverts are better suited for certain C-level positions, and here's why. And here are 3 tips as an introvert advocate to help your readers who are introverts really make an impression at their next holiday party. So there's all different ways you can come up with different angles, but they really kind of fall into those buckets.
So it takes some thought, no cutting and pasting, right? It is a numbers game, but you always need to make it feel relational and personal.
Well, you can copy and paste once you have a really good pitch. So in my program, right, you're not writing 100 different pitches for 100 journalists, but once you write a really good and solid pitch, you can pitch that for multiple people who write that beat, that specific topic.